I'm Richard Porter.
I'm Jonny Smith.
And this is On the Other Side of Things, the Smith and Sniff spin-off show in which we answer questions from a live audience.
You're all lovely.
Quite quickly, because I know how big the gap is between the start of the music and where the drums fade up, and it's a right faff to change it. Sorry, a little bit behind the scenes there for you to start with.
Well, lovely room of people.
We're going to take your questions. Does anyone who's really far away have a question for Jonny? Oh, yes, look over there, John.
All right, I'm going to mix this up a bit. You over there. I'd love
here.
Oh, it's you, Lewis. If you want to ask a question, come and answer it. The microphone's here.
My God!
After all, you delivered my rancho. So
he did. He delivered you the biggest box of bran flakes you've ever seen.
Question for you, Richard. We need to hear this Range Rover story. And I won't give back the rancho until I've heard it.
I promise I'm not putting this off deliberately. There are two reasons why I can't do the Range Rover story tonight. One of them is it's very long and possibly not very interesting. The other one is that, and I'm not making this up, although the car is now sold,
oh no! Yeah.
This very day I discovered some new information about it, which I'm going to have to take care of something.
Did you have a tarpaulin in the boot?
It was the bathrobe that caused the problem.
Oh
no! So I will tell the story. It's just that it will go on a bit, so I'll do it on a podcast very soon. It's amazing how many people keep asking. We get a lot of emails going about other things, and they'll go, "P.S. What's going on with your Range Rover?" It is sold. It was sold ages ago, but I'm not joking when I say that I had an interesting phone conversation today, which now leads me to have to address a major issue.
Well, what a cliffhanger that is. That's ridiculous. Sorry, I'm eating a mince pie.
I know you are.
It's a perfect thing to do on a podcast. We'll talk about the Range Rover in the pub.
I need to tell you later about it because I need your advice on what to do.
You've got a really serious face on.
No, I have. It's a serious face. It's a proper serious face. I'll tell you why later. Sorry. You will learn about this one day. I promise. Okay. It's not some kind of elaborate thing where it turns out the Range Rover was bought by Sade. Although that would be amazing. I wish it had been bought by Sade.
Yeah, if anyone from the Corrs is listening and you're looking for a Rancho, just get in touch.
Right, I'm going to take my dicky knee out into the audience again. Any other questions? Oh, I saw you go up there, sir. Hi.
Hi. Talking of the Corrs.
As we were.
Did you tell Jonny that the Corrs were going to be at Clarkson's pub?
No, because I didn't know either.
You didn't know either?
No, I found out the next day.
I'm really bitter about this.
I know. Do you know, I found out the next day and the first thing I did was message Jonny.
He did. He sent me a photo.
But I didn't take the photo because I wasn't bloody there.
Of someone who works on Clarkson's farm who was there and said, check this out, send it to Jonny. Or something.
Do you know who else was there? Natalie Imbruglia. And James Blunt. And Ellen DeGeneres, weirdly.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she lives in the UK now.
I was going to say where she lives.
Does she live on Clarkson's farm? No!
I can't say. But I know exactly where she lives, weirdly. I don't know her. But
I'm not bitter about that at all. So, I've got loads to say about it.
Wait a sec.
What?
I realise I've now got an in with the Corrs, though.
Yes!
Because the reason they played Jeremy's pub is because Jeremy's partner, Lisa, is from Dublin. She knows the Corrs.
Oh, shit. I'm starting to sound creepy. Anyway, anyone else got another question? Anywhere? Look over there, yeah. I'm going to go over there.
Go on, you do it.
Yeah. Can you keep somewhere over there? Hand up. That. Yeah.
Do you want me to beatbox while you go all the way up?
Yeah, please, Rich, can you?
Okay. I'm feeling a bit dry-mouthed for beatboxing.
Coming down here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry. There you go.
I recently visited Guernsey, Channel Islands.
All right, you win. You've got a better voice than both of us. Okay. It sounds like the beginning of an amazing book.
Future career as a voiceover artist, potentially. On Guernsey, the speed limit is maximum 35 miles an hour. There are no dual carriageways, very narrow roads. A lot of the residents, for some reason, still drive massive SUVs. What, in your opinion, is the ideal Guernsey car?
Suzuki Ignis 4x4.
Daihatsu Corrs Avanzato TRXX.
I thought you might say
It just
Honda
is.
Beat, which is where I came down, Honda Beat. I think that would be a fantastic...
Yes, Honda Beat. It's
Honda
only
Beat.
though it's quite coastal, isn't it, Guernsey, by dint of being at island and not very big.
Yeah.
You want
And
to
you
get
see, I've got a
K
Honda
cars
Beat.
undersealed quite quickly, I would say, in a...
I've got a Honda Beat. It's on the table. Can you
What?
see it?
What?
Yeah, I bought it from a coastal resort.
Oh, I see.
It's just... Can you see it?
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Yes, it is very coastal.
But definitely a K car.
I think K car. There are quite a lot of them around. If you want to do some unusual K car, lots of N boxes were present.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Very
really
cool.
interesting. Oh, and Mitsuoka
Vute.
View. That's the one. Yeah.
No, a Vute
Yeah.
to a kill. You've got...
Greeting you with a view to a kill. It's the slogan
I'm-
for your taxi company.
You say this is Guernsey or Jersey?
Guernsey. Jersey's slightly larger. I think they have one dual carriageway.
Right. Rich, can you take me on holiday to...
A friend of mine used to live in Guernsey, and shortly after he moved there, he went to go and get a takeaway on a Friday night from the local town, village.
Is it illegal over there
Is it what?
to get a takeaway on a Friday
Yeah,
night?
it
Is it
turns out
illegal?
it is after 7 o'clock or something. No, he was driving his, I think he had a
Thank
Peugeot
you.
106, and he slid on an icy road into a ditch. And he very quickly realised that there's not a lot going on Guernsey because it made the local paper. But the headline, and I may be paraphrasing here, basically said, "Outsider crashes car."
Really? I've never been to Guernsey. I'd love to go. So we need to go there to drive a Honda N-Box.
Yeah,
Done.
I'd love an M-Box.
Brilliant.
Is there an M-Box for sale at the moment on somewhere? But
Well, I know we can buy them new in the UK, but I'm not divulging that information here and now.
oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk afterwards.
Yes. About your Range Rover.
Well, yeah, once I've told you how Andrea Cord diddled me on the price of the Range Rover. Oh, I've said too much. What shall I do here? Shall I go to the back of the room and then run forward like a maniac and just the first hand?
Well, Lisa, there's a hand.
Okay.
Go on, Rich. I'll be
Honestly, my knee is really playing up the cold weather. It's shit being old.
Yeah. Hurry up. Are you there?
Thank you very much. So look, guys, this is the situation. You've both now come into unlimited cash.
Yeah.
And you've decided that you want to mass produce a famous car for me for TV, film, or a cartoon. What would it be, bearing in mind it has to be the spec from the TV series?
You know what? I'll be completely honest. I found the intro so funny I didn't listen to any of the rest of it because it was
You've come
so
into
good.
unlimited amounts of cash and you have decided to mass produce. Did you say mass produce? Mass produce any car you want from film, TV, a cartoon if you so wish. And since you said cartoon, I'm going Danger Mouse's car. Because that looked like a sweet ride to me. Wouldn't it be quite small?
Hang on. So
I haven't thought this through.
you're going to mass produce a car the size of a shoe, but it's a fully functional car.
Can you imagine?
Mass produce.
Getting regular calls from my R&D team. Yeah, it's almost ready, boss. Yeah. Okay, right. And finally come down. And why is there a handkerchief on the floor? Ta-da! Oh.
Do you know? I think I would do. Well, I wouldn't do a car that's that small. Otherwise, I'd go for. Didn't Sooty used to have a very small car?
I think he might have done. No, but hang on. Didn't he have a Bedford Rascal? Am I imagining?
In the early days, it was a Honda Acti, I think.
Oh, yes, I think it was.
Which is a superior
K-van.
brother. It was a K-van.
So you could go on holiday to Guernsey.
Captain K-van. He lives in Guernsey.
Yeah.
That is a really, really odd but brilliant question. I've always liked the car at the beginning of the Pink Panther.
Yes.
It was nicknamed the Anteater. It was like a weird concept custom
Yeah.
car, which is incredibly Euro NCAP unfriendly. Because I think you've heard of forward controls. I think, I think the driver's 8 foot in front of the front wheels, which would be so horrifying. But I'd quite like to mass produce that for no apparent reason. So I think I'm going to choose that.
Okay, no, I like that. That was playing on my mind as well because
You've profited your mouse's car.
because I need another car since I've spent $1 billion developing a car that I can't even
12
get a foot
inches
in.
long.
Fucking hell, he's a mouse. Why did you think this through? His best friend was a mole. Okay. Has anyone else got a question that will wrong foot me into committing to
That question's
developing a-
brilliant. There's so much depth to that question.
I know, we could
Write
come back to it,
Let's
couldn't
do a podcast all about it. I'm going to write it down.
Okay.
I'll write it down.
I'm going to just move up the middle here to you, sir.
G'day. Not going to wrong foot you this one. Sorry, it's a bit.
You're welcome
bit
to if you
simple. Just wondering which, if any, Aussie cars you guys have driven, and what did you think of them?
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
wasn't
what was
listening.
that? I'm really sorry. I was just writing something. I can't do two things at once. I'm really sorry. What was that?
I had a Vauxhall VXR8, which is an HSV Commodore, as a long-term test car for.
Off of
Can't remember
Eve.
how long I had that off of Out of Evo magazine. So that was bloody great. I mean, it was sort of shit, but it was bloody great all the same.
Yeah, but charismatic
Yeah.
and fun. What was
Sort
the
of, it
question?
was very Australian because it was like the traction control. It had traction control, but basically,
Oh, yeah.
as you were mid-slide, panicking wildly, heading towards a tree, it would suddenly go, "Oh, mate,
Yeah.
you okay?" No, I'm not. I'm going to crash. Yeah. Let me go find my thongs. I'll see if I can help you out. And then it would belatedly sort of break a wheel and you'd slither into a ditch. But it was a bloody lovely car. I like that car so much that when they said we want it back now, I asked them how much they wanted for it because I seriously thought I might buy it. But unfortunately, they wanted all the money for it. No mates rates, mate. So I didn't. Have I driven any Aussie cars apart from that? I don't know.
I've bought an Aussie car.
Have you?
Yeah. I don't know what the question
Do you mean it was
though.
upside down?
Hey? I bought an Australian car when I was hungover and I lived in London from really.
There's a lot of moving parts in this story already.
Well, I used to just wake up and sometimes I would just go on the Loot website, as was, and I'd just go, right, what's for sale?
Oh, okay.
That looks interesting and is cheap.
The question was, by the way, have you ever driven any Australian cars?
Oh yeah, well yeah, I've owned one. And what happened was I woke up and I was hungover, and I bought it from South London. I've actually forgotten the part of South London that it was in, but it was a really long way away from where I lived. And I went and got the tube there, so I was definitely buying it. And when I remember this, when I turned up to buy it, the guy said, "Okay, it's just around the corner, parked on the street, blue, 1973 Ford Fairlane, the 351 in it. It looked like a massive Mark III Cortina, basically. But he said it was my late dad's car, and he's owned it for 30 years, something like that. But it had boat chain round the steering wheel and then down to the brake pedal.
Oh.
Just a massive piece of old boat chain with a padlock. Old school crook lock.
Yeah.
DIY crook lock. So he said, "Oh, do you want that?" and I said, yeah, all right. So I get this enormously heavy chain in the boot of the car, put that in the car. And then I drove it home, but it was pre-sat-nav, and I didn't have any idea how to get home. I had a shit A to Z, and I had a hungover girlfriend who was no use, really. And so I drove through the middle of London, because it's the only way I knew how to get home.
Yeah.
So instead of
I used
going
to do
out,
that.
well, you go out and around a bit, and then in again.
Do you know, I used to do a sort of pinball navigation, I called it, where you just drive until you sort of vaguely know where you are, and then sort of head in the direction you think is correct. And I used to do it. I remember driving before I lived in London, I drove down on a Friday night for a friend's birthday party, and I just drove around central London until I saw a building I recognised.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of went, okay, there's St Pancras Station, so I need to sort of head this way.
It makes us
just
sound
pinballed
like
around
we're
for
80
ages.
years old.
Eventually, I found my friend's street. Pure luck, really. And I was already late for her party, so I just dumped the car. I was staying at her flat that night. Dumped the car, headed off to the bar where it was. Don't know how I knew where that was either. And came back in the morning, they towed my car away.
Shit.
Except it wasn't my car, it was Toyota UK's car, and it was a Yaris, and they weren't on sale at that point. So it was all a bit awkward, because I thought it had been stolen.
Shit.
It didn't occur to me that they tow cars that quickly in London. So I had to go to a vehicle pound and pay a load of money to get Toyota's pre-production Yaris back.
Well, the Australian car that I owned, do you remember I told you that time I found a mummified dog underneath a...
Yes.
Yeah, that old story.
Still going through the therapy.
There is a link to that Australian car because... so, I advertised the Opel record after I got it, and a guy came to look at it and decided he didn't want it, and then saw the Australian car parked outside my flat and went, "Is that yours?" I went, "Yeah." He goes, "Is it for sale?" I went, "Well, no, not really." And he went, "Oh, I'd love to buy it." And then 20 minutes later, he'd bought it. Not the Opel record that I was desperately trying to sell. And then we became friends because he lived down the road. And then a couple of months later, he said, "Oh, I'm having a barbecue. Do you want to come over?"
Was he Australian or was he just having a barbecue?
No, he was just, he was from Newcastle upon Tyne.
Oh, okay.
But I took to the barbecue, not to eat, just for entertainment purposes, the mummified
Oh,
dog.
God.
No, I did. I just thought it'd be fun
So, to sum
to
up,
show everybody.
a man from Newcastle bought a car off you out of politeness. He invited you to a barbecue,
Yeah.
and he told his friends afterwards, "Yeah, that guy off Fifth Gear turned up at my barbecue with a dead dog
No,
on a bit of wood."
I hadn't done fifth gear. This was,
Oh, right, I'm sorry. Okay.
this was in 2000.
Forgive me.
This was 2001.
Oh, okay.
Like that, when you could drive cars around untaxed. Some people used to do that. It's true, though. So I took, the problem was I left it outside his house.
I know, you've told me the story. You've told me.
But that's, also I've driven a Vauxhall VXR 500, the Monaro.
Yes.
The 500 version, if you remember that, which was
Yeah.
supercharged.
They were good.
Which had 500 horsepower and 500 500 pounds-feet of torque. That's one of the most exciting press cars I've ever driven.
I've driven a Camry in Australia, and I think it was built locally.
Local produce.
But there's nothing interesting to say about it. Has anyone got another question that's not going to make Johnny talk about a mummified dog?
That was a particularly erect one at the back there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, if only someone had a microphone, I could go over to him.
Yeah.
Hint.
No. Do you know what?
Got a bad knee.
I'm going to take this with me for the journey. Hang on.
And do what? Drink it?
No. There you go. Got a lovely hoodie on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to smell that?
With people over here who can only hear Johnny, that must sound a lot worse than it actually is.
It's all right.
So, with the Ford killing the Fiesta to replace with the electric Explorer and Capri, are we seeing the death of Ford?
Sorry, who? Fahawadza. It's a good question.
Will we see the death of Ford?
I
Well,
can
they're not-
answer that as I'm walking back.
They
Yes.
haven't, to be sensible for a minute, they haven't killed the Fiesta to make the Explorer and the Capri. They've killed the Fiesta because more people were buying the Puma, and they make more money on those because it's a Fiesta underneath, but they can charge more for it. So on that business case, I'd say Ford are hanging on in there. But yeah, if no one wants the Explorer and the Capri, they've spent a load of money making those, although they have just bought in the bits from Volkswagen mainly. So
Yeah.
I don't think this alone is going to kill Ford. I think they might die in Europe because of a general...
They've made some strange business decisions.
Oh,
I
have
think.
they?
Yes.
What? Making Danger Mouse's car and then realising no one else had it in it.
I think they've made some strange business decisions by building the Capri, which is not really different enough or interesting enough from the Explorer, which are both electric, both SUV-ish, sort of crossover-ish, but no one entirely cares. I mean, okay, so just going to put it out there. I did a new review on the Ford Explorer when it broke even on the Late Break Show. It's the worst performing video I've ever done. actually no one gave a shit. And so I think on the basis of that and the fact that they've ruined the whole Capri thing, your opinion doesn't count for much on that score. I think, and the fact they've killed off the Fiesta, and that they've, apart from the Mustang, they don't do anything interesting at the moment at all. I think they've properly lost their mojo. But I'm just saying, a lot of other manufacturers are sort of not doing anything great as well.
They're floundering.
Like Nissan.
I've got an email here from a listener that you might like.
Okay.
Might find interesting. It may pique your interest. It's from a listener in Norway called Christopher Cheveland. He says, I've just finished listening to the latest episode. It made me think. You were talking about the new Ford SUV crossover thing bearing the name Capri, where the Mustang now is a line of cars with both the regular Mustang and the Mach-E. The Capri is just a retro name on a blob. But this can be fixed quite easily, I believe. Take the EcoBoost-powered Mustang, give it a new front and rear fascia with proper Capri-esque styling, and voila, a new, reasonably priced sports car for every man is born.
Hurrah!
And Ford can build on the Capri line without upsetting hundreds of thousands of car lovers.
Can we have a round of applause, please?
Now, I think that's not a bad idea. Take the four-cylinder Mustang, leave the V8 as the Mustang, but take the four-cylinder, restyle the front and back and go, this is the Capri.
I think that could be great, because then you could have a Capri that is an electric family-ish thing like the Mustang Mach-E. And then you could have an actual, like you say, sporty-ish car with a four-cylinder, with a V6. I think that would be wonderful. And Folds would redeem themselves with really important people like me. No, I genuinely don't think Ford care about me. But that's fine, because I don't really care about Ford at the moment. Because I think they need to work a little harder.
Wow.
The Transit's good, though.
The what, sorry?
The Transit.
I'm sorry?
I knew we'd have to save till the end, because the neck might go.
We might go, this is it.
Transit.
Right. How long have we got left? Ooh.
None left. I've been told that we should have finished 5 minutes ago.
Oh, really? Oh, shoot. I forgot to run the timer, as always. Can we do one more question?
Make it quick, my friend. Is your question quick?
I know there are a few women in the room, and none of them have piped up. Are any people who aren't middle-aged men who want to ask a question? No, you're, well, a youngish man. OK, then we'll come back to that one.
Folds.
First of all, Johnny, I'd like to completely relate with your 80s movie Car Spotting. I do the same thing with American movies. Recently watching a little-known film, License to Drive. Don't know if anyone's heard of it.
What a film.
Yep, and after the third time pointing out a bog-standard Honda Accord, I was told by my loving family to shut up. My question is for Richard. Regarding the Top Gear races when you got the touring car drivers, so stuff like the classic people carriers, the motorhomes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Apart from the obvious stunts like the bus falling over and stuff, how much of the actual racing was choreographed? Like, were they actually allowed to race around, or how did that look?
So the way that would generally work, or was supposed to work, was that we would say to the touring car drivers, when you start off, go gently, don't touch each other, because
just sounds like a disco
to go round.
It's like a school disco.
So it's like no contact. Let's just get the race starting, because there has to be a build to carnage. And that was a brilliant idea, but it overlooked one thing, which is that they're touring car drivers, and they simply did not understand how to do that. So what would happen is we'd set them off. And you've got people like Anthony Reid, the gentleman lunatic, and they just can't help themselves, because he's going, oh, there's Matt Leal in that. I'm just going to give him a little gentle nerf, and would absolutely do a full would have deployed the airbags kind of impact. And so we'd have to go, stop. What did we just say? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, no contact.
Really?
Right. Let's try this again. And this would go on for a while, and then we would have to choreograph it a bit more just to get the shots. Because if they're all smashed up on the first corner, it's quite hard then to construct enough of a race out of it, because the cars are sort of falling left, right, and centre because they're smashing into each other. So the answer is, we tried to run proper races, but we had touring car drivers. So they were sort of proper races. And often, once we'd got enough shots of them not bashed up, that would be the point at which we'd go, OK, guys, do what you want. And everybody would hide behind a tyre wall, and then we'd just watch the carnage for a bit. And then, yeah, some of the stuff that was a bit more stunty. The bus falling over, I think we said to Anthony Reid, we'd love the bus to fall over. Do you think you can make that happen? And he went, right, you go. OK, no problem at all. And then it was surprisingly hard. But again, not impossible. The reason being Anthony Reid.
I think the Top Gear touring car drivers driving the airside support vehicles was probably my favourite thing that you did, apart from the Hilux.
The favourite thing we did?
Yeah. I think it was because it was so fun to watch.
Wow.
And also, and the in-car cameras was epic.
Ah.
Watching that mobile stare lock thing, absolutely getting into a massive slapper.
Yes.
Was not like that. It was, yeah.
Well, feels like a note on which we could probably end this.
Yeah.
Before Minnie asks us to leave. Thank you for all your questions, and thank you also for coming along this evening. Big thanks to Minnie Oxford for hosting us, and for all the people who work here for being so very tolerant of
us talking bobbins.
So we'll do another live show soon. We'll be back with a normal podcast on Monday, but until then, goodbye.
Thank you.